One to Spherical Luminosity's YouTube Live. I apologize for being just a few minutes late. We are, however, working in some of the last minute questions that came in. So that's why we're a little bit late. And for those of you who aren't aware, we are flipping the switch tonight and taking a number of questions, more than we typically do. I will be talking at the beginning a little bit more about a pivotal movement that's important at this time in order to really use this window of ascension. So I will be talking a bit first, but then we're moving to you guys and answering your questions. So some of you are already here in the chat saying where you are. So let me just see who's here. All right, so we have Teresa coming in from Minneapolis and Loretta. Good to see you. And then Joan from Minnesota and Nanette from in the middle of the night in Denmark. And Emily and Ray. Hello, Emily and Ray. And Patsy from San Francisco, who we're going to see next week in San Miguel de Allende, which is very exciting. And hello, Betsy and Todd from San Diego. And Marlene and Rita, I imagine, are close by to each other in the great redwoods of Northern California, which is just beautiful. And Joelle coming in from LA, and Natalie from Australia. Just a ton of people, and I can't say hello to all of you, but I see you all, including you, Leah Carlton, in Louisiana. So thank you guys all for joining us. My name is Karen Chong, and I catalyze your shift from the ordinary to the exhilaration of the quantum by giving you the tools to change your frequency resonance so that the life you live matches the life you dream of. Now, for those of you who are here who are brand new to frequency work and don't know much about it, I'd recommend checking out episode 176, Frequency Work Fundamentals Reboot of my podcast, Mastering Your Worldview Frequencies, on this very same channel. And that's episode 176. Okay. So today we are, as I mentioned, switching it up a bit and answering the questions that you guys have been writing in with over the past few days. And I think we're going to go from there. And then leading us forward into the forum of questions is my fantastic co-host, Miss Fiona Malcolm. Whoa! All right.
Okay, they were interesting questions that we all got a chance to have a read, which was really great. Thanks for sending them in. And what seemed apparent to me and to us as a team was some of these questions were showing just how much the triggers and the distortion patterns we're at right now. And the distinction, I think, between being in the mind and the head space as opposed to actually being in the heart space. And I was hoping, before we get into the question specifically, if we could actually talk about that difference. And how do you know? Like, how do you know that you have actually gone into this heart space?
Well, one of I think the biggest tells is that you're not in fear in the same way. And I think right now can be a really hard time, especially if you're looking externally to you. So meaning if you're looking at a lot of the news, I mean, it's happening everywhere in the world where there's a lot of things to be afraid of. You know, and there's like very oppressive actions being taken by governments. There's a lot of reaction against those governments. There is a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of predicted breakdown, you know, so there's a lot like up. And it can feel very scary and a lot like despair, especially if you stay in the resonance of the mind. Because when you're in the resonance of the mind, your mind is going to try to figure out how the hell we're going to get ourselves out of this. Because it really doesn't seem like we're gonna. You know what I mean? If you really think about it, you're like, well, if you list all the problems that are happening in the world today, doesn't seem likely we're gonna solve them all. We're all kind of just screwed, basically.
Because even if you think you've solved one, there's
another one. Yeah, exactly.
And the media and social media, all those platforms will tell you just how many you've got to try and figure out.
Exactly. And then and then if your brain really spins up into more fear, then there are all these unseen things that we don't even know about. There are all those ones. So then it becomes this massive mountain. I'm not laughing because it's not funny, but it's kind of crazy what's happening right now. And with all this information, it can just feel like there's nothing you can do. And the thing I just want to back up out of this and say is that the more despair and fear and disempowerment you're in, the more you're in that resonance that there are control sources out there that would prefer you to be in those resonances, because it's very easy to control people when they're in despair, because despair is a form of disempowerment. Despair means it's hopeless and there's nothing I can do to change it, right? That's what despair is to me, right? It's like an inevitable impending doom, right? But the thing is, that again is if you're watching everything from or observing or feeling things only from the resonance of the mind. When you drop into the heart space and you start to access, and this is why I gave the invitation to your higher self, because the heart is the gateway to many things, right?
Yeah.
It's the access point to the quantum field, or said differently, the oneness, unity consciousness. It's the access point through which the higher self, you as consciousness, comes through into your form. It's like where like consciousness and form kiss, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so the heart is not just about love and feeling nice. It's actually the gateway to consciousness. So this drop that you're talking about is very important at this time. And just to give context, the reason it's so loud right now and it feels like the world's going to hell is to force you awake into like, oh, there has to be a better way, so that you will detach from the fear in your mind and all of the despair and the I am screwed or we're screwed, so that you surrender, basically. You get to a point where you're like, I don't want to keep spinning up in this anymore. I need to find a different way. And by doing that and releasing your distortion patterns, you can surrender enough to actually drop into the heart space.
Okay, I have a question.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're like, when is she going to stop talking so I can ask my question? You did very well.
I'm in this moment, I'm thinking about, in particular, we have a couple of clients that are in Israel.
Yeah.
So if they're hearing this, I'm only imagining, I mean, it's my Scottishness. I mean, that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You're not having bombs dropped on you.
Yeah.
So, what do you say to people like that are in those kind of predicaments where actually their survival's at stake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, so in those moments where it really is a matter of potential death, because I mean, being bombed is pretty life-threatening.
Yeah.
And they're also in a collective field that it has a lot of fear, because everyone is being bombed, right? Like in that collective. So there's a lot of fear around it and a lot of anger, and there's a lot of stuff going on in that field. So it's actually more important in that situation to come into your center, like to not leave your body because you're afraid and you're trying to disassociate from what's happening because it's terrifying, which I'm not suggesting it isn't, because it is.
Yeah.
But it actually, before you even imagine coming into the heart space, is actually coming into your body, to actually being really present in the moment. So just if you're in a situation like that, where it truly is like, okay, like this is actually a death situation potentially, or the risk of it is much higher, to really make your way into the 0 point. Okay, as much as possible into your center, to be with yourself, very present in time. And a lot of people will not want to do this because they're afraid, right?
Yeah.
Because there is so much fear and they don't want to feel it, right? They don't want to feel the fear, the despair, the overwhelm, the the collective of it.
Or your neurophysiological response is so huge that it is fight or flight.
Yes, exactly.
You can't even think about moving at the center now because you're just looking for safety.
See, exactly. Yeah,
like
exactly.
this. You're right.
So if you're in that situation, then I would use a more physical based tool like emotional freedom technique, or where the tapping. To help you to move the emotion out of your body.
Right.
And so the thing is, when you have the emotion move out of your body, you actually can find your center, because that overwhelm, that neurophysiological response is in your nervous system.
Yeah.
And something like body talk, EFT, NET, all these different kinds of modalities that have come up in the past couple of decades are to help you release emotion out of your nervous system. Like not just to have the emotion, but actually release it out of your nervous system, because then your nervous system can regulate a bit better.
Yeah.
And then you can bring yourself into the zero. It's into the 0 point or into your center. It's the same as if you're having like a panic attack, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And then your body is going into that symptomatic response. And you're like, oh my God, I'm totally out of control. So you can use one of those tools or something like being really present in the body,
Mm-hmm.
or something like that to help you, like, by using breath work, or like really paying attention to something very physical, or like squeezing something really hard, or something like that, like a physical stimulus
Mm-hmm.
to help you center. Because all those tools, what they're doing is helping you be really present in the body in this moment of time, which
Yeah.
is the way to get into your center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember during the earthquakes in Christchurch in New Zealand, when it was all happening, there was this moment of it's survival for me and my kid.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Run but then what helped me was I sat on the land.
Yes.
Felt the land and then just started breathing so I could calm myself.
Yeah.
Because it was just the mind had gone into we're gonna die.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
it's
Yeah.
like-
And being on the land is really helpful, like, or being in nature in some way. Because, of course, being on the land, even though, I mean, of course, it was scary because it's an earthquake,
yeah.
right? But the land is really important because then you're grounded into those earth frequencies, which are only in the present moment of linear time. So
Yeah.
what you did was really important because you're telling your body, like, entrain to something other than fear, like entrain to the earth, right? And these earth frequencies, which are just in the present moment.
Excellent.
So as you're doing that, it's like you're confirming the removal of the panic.
It's funny, I've never heard it actually been described like that. Entrained to the frequency of the land, even
Yeah.
though that is what it is.
Yeah.
But it really somehow helps. It's like, oh yeah, I keep forgetting
Yeah.
that the earth is a being
Yes, exactly.
and her frequency is so stable
Yes, and
that-
huge.
and huge. It's like, why wouldn't you use that as a tool?
Yeah, exactly.
right?
And then when you come into your center, now, please know I'm not trying to like make this better seeming than it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in this situation where you're experiencing like something where you're facing death. So, for example, for me, like I've never been in a situation, thankfully, where, I'm being bombed, right? So
Yeah.
that's obviously,
Yeah, that's
that's very,
top level.
yeah, top level stuff, right?
Mhm.
So, but I have been in situations where I've been really sick
Yeah.
and I wasn't able to breathe. So I woke up at night and not able to breathe.
That's pretty scary.
It's scary because
Yeah.
you're like, I don't have enough air. And so it feels like you're drowning in your own body.
Yeah.
And so in those moments, what I had to learn is that to stay present with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very strange. I'm not suggesting I have a death wish or anything. However, I surrendered to the possibility of dying.
Okay.
I actually went into surrender. I was like, because fighting at that point wasn't helping. I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm actually really out of control. Like it's happening. Like I can't control my body right now.
Mm-hmm.
So in that moment, I was like, the only thing I can do here at this moment, because I didn't have my pump with me for some reason,
Yeah.
is to soften, like really just surrender into this moment. And I really come into the piece of, well, if it is my time to go, I can't really avoid it. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, like if this is the moment I've chosen in some, at my higher self level to leave, then there's nothing my physicalness is going to do about that.
Yeah.
So, okay. So can I actually soften here and actually be with this moment?
Mm-hmm.
And it was strange because in that surrender, I actually dropped into my heart space.
I was just gonna say, is that
Yeah.
not a movement, but is that a kind of communication from the heart?
Yes, it is.
It's like
Yeah.
surrender.
Surrender. There's nothing else
Your
to do.
mind can't win this.
Yeah, you can't win it. And if like the physical death is inevitable, right? If that is the outcome, can you be with it?
Yeah.
If this is the transition moment, all right, can you be with it? Because the thing is, it's really strange. And as I softened into it, it's almost like everything got really still and very expanded. And I became less and less afraid because I was just like, okay.
Oh wait, so now you're describing what the heart space can feel
like.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Because the mind, like I think we've just kind of displayed it.
Yeah.
I find the mind can get triggered to fear so much faster
So much faster.
than
Yeah.
this is a success or it's a great thing that's happening.
No, yeah.
It's like catastrophizes
Yeah.
as much as possible.
So yeah, it goes like super worst case scenario, and the more fear there is, like the worse the catastrophe is.
And
Yeah,
it's hungry for it
yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
Whereas, like you say, you dropped into that heart space
Mm-hmm.
and you just felt this peace somehow.
yeah.
And surrender?
and this surrender, and and really what I did, and it was teaching me something at that time was like I actually don't have that much control, because I think you've all heard me say like I really came from being a very strong control freak.
Yeah.
So for me in that moment, it was like I don't have control, so I am going to surrender here because I don't have a choice really.
Yeah.
And what happens if I do soften here?
Yeah.
Can I allow myself to just have that happen?
Yeah.
And as you said, like it became the heart space started to expand, and then there was less fear. Like you come into this space where it becomes peaceful, actually, because you're at the point where, and for me, it's like you start to feel or recognize, and this is like very early on in like me having my abilities. So just for everyone to know, it's not like I was, you know what I mean? I was just kind of.
Wasn't last week.
It wasn't last week. Yeah, no. And so for me, it was this moment where I really started to feel the heart space for the first time, in the sense that there was this odd kind of expansive stillness that happened, which is what happens for me now when I consciously start to tap into that oneness, unity consciousness, higher self, right?
Yeah.
You as in infinite indestructible consciousness or source intelligence. That expansive peace that I felt when I was surrendering was similar to that. And I was like, but I didn't know what that was then.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was very similar.
And
Yeah.
would you say in that, again, just to differentiate between the two, when you're in that space, is there any thought? Like, is there any kind of conscious thought?
Not by the end of it. So there was at the beginning because I was fighting it.
Yeah.
Then I surrendered and I allowed myself in. So I had my little grief. I was sad, you know, and then I allowed myself to let go a little bit. I had to, it was like layers of surrender. But when I got to that final layer, it was just peacefulness. It was just still, actually.
We need to come back to that grief.
Yeah.
I think this is, there was a couple of questions
Yeah.
that people sent in that were talking about this
Yeah.
grief.
Yeah.
And I'd love to kind of discuss that a bit
Yeah,
more.
sure.
With these questions, because, I mean, you're doing a retreat on
Yes.
moving from the head into
the heart space. Yeah.
And I think it's really important, like you said, at this time, that people understand that there is a difference.
There's a huge difference. And that's the point of the window of ascension. So this movement from the head to the heart space. So what you're referring to is the San Miguel de Allende retreat, which is called Dropping Through the Heart Vortex, returning to our multidimensional divinity.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can't access any of that with being in your mind. Like, it's just not possible, because your mind is not able to be in the resonance which allows you to access that quantum resonance. And so the thing about the heart space is that we're so conditioned out of it. You know, we're taught to think all the time. We're taught to not get distracted. We have to be very linear. We have to explain all the different steps. Like, we're very conditioned to a certain kind of perspective in our minds. And the thing is, when you're in the resonance of the mind, like I said, it's very easy to go into fear when you're in, because the mind is what reflects your distortion.
Yeah.
Right. So it's and reflects the distortion not just of you, but it picks up on the distortion around you in the collective field, right? That you're symptomizing as thoughts or as emotion or whatever, because your thoughts and emotion are really a physical symptom of the distortion that is present.
Yep.
But when you drop into the heart space and you connect to that quantum field, to that you as higher self, that oneness, you sense your infiniteness. So as a result, you're aware. I know it's going to sound terrible potentially for some people, or scary, but your human lifetime, whilst incredible, is not like the end all or be all. You know, you don't fear death in the same way, and you recognize there's a part of you that's like infinite. You know, that it's greater than. So there's not as much to fear, so to speak.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
so I have to ask you. I mean, that sounds glorious, right?
It is, yeah.
And I'm imagining that anybody listening is like, well, how come I'm not feeling that? Or
Yeah.
how come I can't get there?
Yeah.
Or, you know, what is it that stops us
Yeah.
for giving up the mind that's torturing us? We
Yeah.
know it's torturing us.
Yeah.
Because we feel fear.
Yes.
Who wants to feel fear?
Nobody.
Right?
Yeah.
So what is it that stops us from making that shift from the mind to the heart?
Yeah. Well, I feel like for a lot of people it's fear, because the heart is the unknown, right? That you can't really tell your heart what to do exactly. You know, it's like with your mind, you have the illusion of control, right? You
Right.
think, I have all this fear, but I can control it by doing all these different things.
Oh, I see. So you're saying when you make that shift to the heart, it's all about surrender.
Yes, that's right.
So you have to trust now.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
And some people are like, no,
No, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm already in fear.
Yeah.
So I'm in fear, and I'm in this elevated state of fear, and now I have all these thoughts telling me why I should be afraid. Then I have the emotion. So now it's like all this amped up fear, and you're telling me to freaking
Just let
surrender
go. Yeah.
and enter the heart space. It's kind of like, screw you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Again, easy for you to
That's
say.
it, exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like for many people, it's about actually, and I realize that we're quite addicted to our news and quite addicted to like knowing what's happening around us and being tapped into the collective. So if you have a challenge with fear and you have a challenge with feeling disempowered in relation to fear, meaning it's hard for you to not feel afraid, it's to give yourself like media diets, you know, or media fasts for a little bit where you just turn it off for a little bit of time. And yes, you're going to hear from different people, their stories, but that's part of like what the strengthening is, right? To recognize, okay, I'm going to release this pattern. I need to release this pattern. So I'm going to focus on doing that and dropping more into surrender. And, you know, like I said at the very beginning about, you know, when we talked about like, use a different tool in addition to the frequency work. If it's a strong emotional response for you that you can't seem to get out of, use things to help you move through it, right? So like what the ones I just mentioned, right? So there's a whole bunch of them. And if you need a practitioner to guide you through it, because it's hard for you to access it or you're too afraid to go there on your own. I mean, there are lots of practitioners who do this amazing kind of work and it's extremely valuable right now. And it will allow you to kind of come into your center, not kind of, but come into your center more easily because you're not running the same emotional patterns.
I'm just laughing because you've literally just answered a question.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're getting to the questions now.
I think we better because you're probably going to answer a lot of them before we get to the actual questions.
All right, so here we go. So the questions I think are there. Am I reading these or are you reading these? Okay, are you going to cut and paste them so people can see them too, Chris? Okay, sorry.
He's got 2 earplugs in and he's trying to
listen to us and
that.
Okay.
He's multitasking.
Okay, so the first question has to do with fear, but I think I've answered this. So he's going to cut and paste it, and then I guess I'll read it. So here's the question. So I believe I've just answered this. So
can everybody see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Chris, you're amazing.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was fast.
Okay, so apart from doing GFCs or other SL offerings, are there any other tools that will help us to keep our fear minimal and stop us from being pulled into the collective chaos? So I just mentioned coming off media. And we talked about different modalities that can help you move your emotion through the body.
Yeah.
Somatic release can really help. Like if you have a lot of tension in your body and you need help actually like physically moving into a state of surrender, like cranial sacral is really good for that. If you find a really good practitioner, because it's all about like allowing yourself to really go soft as they hold you. That can be a really good practice. There's a practice, if you can find one, it's really great. There's a man named Thomas Hanna who created, I know there's a lot about somatics, but he had a very specific somatic body work. His name is Thomas Hanna, and it was all about how to get your brain to recognize that your muscle's in tension, because sometimes you don't recognize it. And there's like a disconnect that happens. And when you start to learn that, what happens is your body can go into softening, which for some people will allow for that sort of
like
release.
Yeah,
exactly. So like, you know, in yoga, they'll say if you open your hips, like you can experience a lot of grief or something like this because there's all this stuff held in our hips or whatever it is, right?
Actually, talking about yoga, pranayama is a great one too.
Yeah, breath work,
particular pranayama breath work that is awesome for moving your mind. They call it the buzz and bee.
Yeah. Is that the breath of fire?
No, that it's you have to block off your eyes, your nose, and you go and you make this noise and it rattles in your brain. And you do it over and over and over again to the point where you literally can't think anymore.
Yeah.
And it just brings the parasympathetic back down. Yeah.
And or if you want to balance your the left and the right side of your brain, you can do the alternate nostril breathing. Right. So breath work is another way you could use it. So it depends on what you guys like, right? But those are different tools that you could use.
Yeah, there's lots of them.
Yeah.
And I would love to add, and I know that you probably would too, is that they can write into InfoApp for recommendations.
Yes.
Because we actually work with some of these people.
Yeah.
You know, they come to the retreats.
Yeah, exactly.
And help.
Yeah, like Tiago, who does the breath work at our retreats, is going to, who's going to be an SMA, is going to giving breath work for those of you who are going to be there.
Yeah. And Zora.
Yeah, and Zora's there too. She's NT.
Dr. Aiden.
Yeah, Dr. Aiden's going to be there.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of practitioners. So if you guys need help, you can let us know. And then if they work remotely, we will tell you that. And if they don't, then they might be able to help you find a practitioner near you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there was something was there another question in there about fear, about what to do? Or are you good?
Is a person had 3 questions? Where you do one of them?
Okay. Great. Let's do that. Okay, so the next question is, can you share the reason for humanity to experience these times? What is the great plan? Yeah, so it's what I mentioned before. So in this window of ascension, the point is for you to come into the remembering of who you truly are, which is you as source intelligence and form. And you can't do that from your mind, actually, at all. And so you really need to make this movement into the heart space, which allows you to access you as consciousness, into, you accessing the quantum field, you accessing higher self, all that sort of stuff happens there. So the reason this is all happening is it's to shake you awake. I mean, that's the point, right? Most people don't make this movement on their own. And we're so attached to our minds, and we're so attached to fear, and we're so attached to our lineage patterns and all these different patterns. It's really for us to purge what it is that's heavy and no longer serves us, so that we can move up in resonance into a different way of being and into a different resonance and different perspective. Yeah.
What do you think then? I mean, nobody really knows how this is going to look,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And we have a sense or an idea because of the experiences that we're having as we clear our distortion patterns. And we know that the mind is fraught with all kinds of programming and conditioning and distortion patterns. What do you think then, the shift into the heart, how will that shift how we use the mind? Because we're not going to suddenly poof, our brain's going to be
No. It's you definitely are going to still have a mind, and you will definitely still use it. It just won't be as dominant. So meaning that you'll remember more often that what you truly are, right? In terms of being source intelligence and form.
Yeah.
And remember that you are a creator being, and that you remember that your reality is a reflection of you, and that your mind doesn't hijack you in the same way.
Yeah.
Because also when you're in the resonance of the heart, especially when you're in a higher resonance and you're able to access the quantum field, you recognize your limitlessness. Like I said, you don't feel as scared. What were you going to say? What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on?
You access the quantum field.
Yeah.
How do you know you're accessing the quantum field? It's so, this quantum thing is being flung out everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
It's the hot new marketing word.
Yeah.
You want a quantum chocolate cake? It's the quantum keto recipe. Right. So it's going to be silly like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. So you're accessing the quantum field.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Right. So, Lynn McTaggart has talked about the field for a long time, because she was like, is there a field that unites everything?
Yeah.
She was trying to basically define oneness, essentially.
Yeah.
So she wrote a whole book on it. And then Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. Dr. Bruce Lipton, they talk about the field a lot. And it's about and the field, of course, is the field of limitless possibility. It's the oneness.
Right.
And it's infinite. So your question was, how do you know you've accessed it?
Accessed it, yeah, because there seems to be this differentiation between moving into the heart space and then understanding that you are source intelligence and form, you've got this higher self that, isn't separate from you, is you. And then you access this other thing now called the quantum.
Yeah.
Are they the same thing? Is it a separate thing? Does magic happen in the quantum?
I think magic happens in the quantum field. Okay, so the quantum field is a field of infinite possibility.
Yeah.
It's non-linear.
Right.
It's all wave. So nothing is fixed in the quantum field. It's all like potential.
Yeah.
That's the nature of the quantum field.
Right.
So your consciousness exists at the level of the quantum field. Are you cracking up because I'm saying something?
No! I'm like, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah. Okay.
So your consciousness and all consciousness exists at the level of the quantum. So why I say at the level of the quantum is because it's a certain level of resonance, right? Like to access it, you have to be resonating at a certain level.
So we're basically swimming in this big wave that we could literally put our finger on a pulse somewhere and say, I'll have that.
Yeah. Basically,
that's
yes.
what happens when you move into this.
Yes, and so to me, like you're all different. So what you experience when you experience the quantum field is going to be different, right? Like the way I experience it and the way you experience it is very different.
Yeah,
and so it also depends on the level of resonance that you are, all that sort of stuff. But you can't access the quantum field through your mind.
Yeah,
you can't think like, gee, I'd really like to know all the steps and then think about the steps and then do the steps and then you're like thinking still.
We just lost 100 viewers. They came at you for the answer and the how-to.
Well, I can tell you how, but it's not just about thinking your way there. It has to do with your resonance.
Well, clearly, because look at the state of the planet right now.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and look at the way we treat the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
All things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is time now.
Yeah.
To shift. And sorry, I I had to jump in there and ask that question. Let's move back to the real questions.
Okay. So I think I might have answered her question. Did I not? Yes. Okay. All right. So this is the next question.
No, when I paste a question,
Yeah.
it's longer than the field allows.
Okay.
So it's not gonna show the
Oh.
whole question.
Okay. So
I'm gonna-
Chris is going to put the question in, but this question is quite long. So it's longer than the text field allows.
Yeah.
So we're going to paste what we can. And then I think Fiona's going to read the whole
Okay.
question on the Word document.
All right.
Right.
Because I can read it.
Yeah.
What could be happening mentally, emotionally, or energetically when someone feels forgetful, emotionally unstable, overwhelmed, unable to create order in their environment, and despite strong intentions to do so, they still can't do it?
Mhm.
What practical and holistic tools can help us regain clarity, emotional balance, focus, and the ability to take organized action when we feel mentally and energetically scattered?
Okay.
There's a lot of people ask this question.
Yeah.
And a lot of folk are suffering right now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
this.
Yeah. And actually, the next question relates to this.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to post the next question so you can see it because I'm going to answer them together. All
Yeah,
right.
great.
So this is the next question, just so you all see it. All right. So this is the next question. These are all very great questions. And then I'm going to read this one just so you can distinguish them. And so this question is, can you describe some symptoms, physical, mental, emotional, of the collapsing timelines? So you can now see how these are interrelated.
Yeah.
So the thing is, when we're in a time that there's so much change, right? So just to back up again, when you have an upgrade or a shift in resonance that is as huge as what we're experiencing in terms of Mother Earth having a shift, she's actually just gone through another one
Yep.
where there's this unity field, and we'll talk about this in Living Your Brilliance next month, really.
Yeah.
But a unity field of consciousness is just has settled into the earth in a different way. So she's shifting at a very rapid rate. Our star, the sun, is shifting, has upgraded at a very rapid rate, and then you have these waves of very high frequencies moving through the all that is.
And for the non-believers,
Yeah.
check it out scientifically in NASA. They have all the data now.
Yeah,
Things have shifted.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So you have that happening. So that already makes you as a being reorganize. Okay, so whether you want to or not, your rendering is starting to shift and then move up in resonance. Okay, so if you resist it, you can. It's just going to be really painful, actually, right? Because there's all this change and you're resisting the change and you want things to be the way that you are. I'm not saying these two people do. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
can be the response to that. And the more people want to hang on to the way things are or the way they have been or that type of thing, the harder it is, or like the way that they think they are and the way they think things should be and the way they think other people should be. When there's a lot of shoulds
Yeah.
and a lot of resistance, it just makes it feel a lot harder.
Okay, let's just talk about the people that don't have the shoots, but like they've got to get the kids to school by a certain time and they've got a project that's due in and they can't because for some reason they can't focus.
Yeah.
Or they sit down and they're determined and nothing's working, whatever they do.
Yeah.
What do we say to them people?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's easy right now because to answer your question, so which has to do with if you're not in resistance and you want to be more in surrender, that's the key.
Right.
So I'm coming to your question,
Great.
your question too.
Great.
So it's almost like you're being forced, not almost like
It takes 10 seconds for you to
here. Okay, so I'm just going to talk happens after that. Okay.
We're surrendering
Right now. We're doing it right now. We're doing it live. We're surrendering live. That's what's happening right now. And I'm hoping, Chris, that you can hear me at this point.
It's insanely soft.
It's insanely soft. Hang on.
This appears as this option.
Do you want me to turn on the audio?
Well, then no, we can hear you.
I'll just pass
No,
it
no,
on.
it's not. Sorry, it's not that. It's literally this connection between here and the computer. So it's not showing as an option right now. I don't know what to do other than keep on disconnecting and connecting. Okay, it's back.
It's back.
Just as I was about to sing.
Okay, we're going to try again. Hopefully, you'll hear us at this time. All right. Well, thank you for saying that we look lovely as always. I appreciate that. That was really cute. Notice that Fee has her all pink outfit on.
pink.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
Little
So-
lipstick there.
Now we're back.
Surrender.
Yeah, so we're just talking about surrender. Isn't that funny when all this technology glitching is happening? There's nothing we can do about it. We don't know why it's glitching. It just is. So thank you, Chris, for getting us back online. And so what I was saying is that in this time, it's really important to surrender because, like, even for myself, let's just take me as an example.
Yeah.
So I'm typically a very high functioning person, meaning I can produce a lot of whatever, like all the content you guys read is like I write it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of content. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's a lot. So anyway, but like I write a lot of stuff and usually I can output a certain amount. And
Yeah.
right now I just can't.
Yeah.
And so it really is about allowing yourself to surrender and actually sit in your center as much as possible. So my meditation practice has increased,
Yeah.
not decreased.
Yeah.
So it's just like, can you just sit in it? It's very displeasurable.
You can make a word. You go for it.
Not nice.
Yeah. It's not nice-ical. Not nice-ical.
Exactly. Don't like it. All right. So especially if you have expectation of yourself of having to do it.
Oh, wait.
Mm.
That's great because that's like you have an identity,
Yes.
again, created by the mind
Yeah.
of who this Karen Chung should
Should
be.
be and what she should be doing and what she should be producing in the world and her obligations and her responsibilities. So it's like, okay, can you soften in that? And is there this version of identity that needs to be released here that's not serving you? And so I think that
And therefore not serving the greater
greater
good,
good.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for
Yeah.
the work you do,
yeah,
right?
it's important.
Ooh,
Yeah,
and
and so-
especially as you're coming into a retreat.
Retreat,
Yeah.
yes. And the thing is, the amount of upgrade that happens for me personally before a retreat, especially one as big as this,
Yeah.
it's like it's a little mind-boggling. It's a little, so just to whoever asked that question about like forgetting, distraction, disorganized, I typically, okay, so just for you guys to know, before I started frequency work, I used to remember everything. I used to have like a crazy mind that could remember everything. I started doing frequency work. I started to not have as much of a memory.
Yeah.
And then when my abilities came in, my memory really dissolved quite a lot because you can't have both functionalities. You can't have a really crazy linear brain and also be able to tap into the quantum field of the all that is and into the unfolding of everything happening all at once. Hard to do both at the same time. And it's not just an excuse. Like, I'm not particularly messy, like I don't use it as an excuse for messiness.
Yeah, yeah.
But my point is that you are going to lose your memory. It's going to be hard to track things. You are going to be distracted in this time. You are going to have more difficulty focusing. It is harder to get things done. It just is.
Could
Yeah.
I add
Yeah.
there, coming back to what we were saying, the difference between the mind and the heart space?
Yeah.
That when that's happening, to try and be aware, or if you're moving into fear with that, oh, I can't remember, oh no, this is happening to me, I can't organize, I can't focus, I can't,
Yeah.
and to go, oh wait, I'm maybe getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
Actually, this is really cool what's happening right now.
Yeah.
to choose that
Yeah.
response as opposed to
Yeah, the other
you know,
thing.
the other thing,
And
and
then
maybe that's easier, like you say, when you come in your
the
center.
center, yeah, in your heart space. And then also to scan for, why is it that I'm afraid to be messy? Why is it that it's important that I'm very linear? Why is it important that I feel like I have to be productive? And notice how you resist that moment in time. So a lot of what that person was describing actually has to do with like the intention of having to create a certain kind of order
Mm.
that they want in the world, and then being in resistance to that order.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of interesting. So you think you want a certain kind of order, and yet you're resisting it at the same time.
Mhm.
So my question would be, why is there this resistance? Like, what
Mhm.
is it here that you're hanging on to that's causing this like friction?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's easy, but there are patterns there that need to be looked at, addressed, released, and also probably versions of self or identity that need to be released. So to answer the second person's question is like symptoms of the timelines. Well, I mean, look, if their timelines released, like if their timelines dissolving, what happens is they don't exist anymore. So it's really difficult to remember things
Oh yeah.
because they disappear. You're just like, oh crap.
Or you have to really search for
Yes.
it.
Yes.
It's like trying to remember something that you could tell every detail of it in your youth.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a little bit traumatic, and you
Yeah.
remember every detail.
Yeah.
And now suddenly it's like, did it happen?
Yeah.
Actually, did that happen?
Yeah. And it's sort of strange because it can kind of feel a little dreamlike. You can't, like, I don't know if people have this experience, but it's kind of like you have a dream and you can't quite remember the dream anymore. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, is it a dream or is it a memory? Like, I can't tell,
Yeah.
actually. So that could happen for you. And that isn't, I mean, for me, I guess it could be distressing if you're like trying to control it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have to have this in order to feel safe.
Right.
Okay, so that's where the distress comes from, or the fear around it comes from. So to notice that and really to surrender, right? This is
I'm hearing that word
a
a lot tonight.
I know, it's true. It's kind of like,
Surrender.
I know, it's kind of like, I don't know if anybody has smoked pot, but like, you know, you forget when you smoke pot, and if you're ever in that space and you're trying to remember, it can be really disconcerting because you're trying to fight to remember, but your experience of time is different. It's the same thing when a timeline's dissolved, but like greater, because it's not something that you're taking externally from you to have the experience. It actually is something that's happening because your brain can't reference time in the same way because the timelines are literally dissolving.
And your cells must be getting crazy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Everything is reorganizing to a higher resonance. And so as you release these heavier, denser things that you've held onto as part of your identity that make you, quote unquote, you, right? These wounding, the trauma, the whatever, the abuse, the painful thing, the whatever, we all have it in different ways.
Yeah.
But as that dissolves, it's almost like your body's like, what? I mean, your brain doesn't understand what to be without those reference points.
Yeah.
So it can be distressing.
What do you do then at that moment?
Yeah, when you're feeling freaked out.
You're feeling freaked out. You don't know who to be anymore. What
Yeah.
do we do there?
So my suggestion for you is to know that if that's happening for you, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, I know from your mind's perspective it is, because you're like, oh, I need the certainty of who I have been.
Yeah.
And yet, for many of you, you've been seeking to find someone new.
That's why you're
Yeah,
here.
exactly. So just know that as you release the old, that's what can happen. Like, you really are releasing the old. Like, you're not going to remember. And, you know, people in LPM will tell me this all the time. Like, I don't even remember the person I was 5 months ago when I started this program.
Yeah.
I'm so vastly different. Like, I can't quite, like, I have to actually read my emails from then to kind of remember who I was.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening.
Pretty profound.
It's pretty profound. Yeah. So as your resonance is rising and the timelines are collapsing that are heavier and like muckier, of course, like, your brain is like, what is going on? Like, I don't know anything anymore. And it's okay that you don't know anything anymore, because in order for you really to step into something new, you have to like release what it is that you thought you were. And in that unknown, allow for something new to come forward.
That's a pretty good answer to that question.
Okay, good.
2 questions.
All right.
Oh no!
Oh, this
no,
is a
I
good
want to. No, I
Okay.
want to ask this one.
Okay. All right. Hang on. Wait. Let Chris copy this. This
I'm
was really
sorry,
funny.
but I literally peed my pants reading this question. Was that too much information for YouTube?
Okay.
Did that take the whole question?
Yeah, there it is.
Or do I need to read it if it didn't?
Okay.
I mean, if it did. All right. The CEO of Anthropic says that the company's LLM, Claude, may have anxiety. Do you think that Claude needs to center itself into the 0 point of space and time? Or is the whole conscious AI debate just more tech industry hype?
I love this question.
It was a great question.
I know, I love this question.
Does like Claude, is Claude just a reflection of the distortion patterns right now?
Yes, it is. So, we keep feeding AI stuff,
Mhm.
right? It gets all of its information from what it pulls from all the information it's gleaning from the internet and what we write and all that sort of stuff. So it's a very anxious time. So does Claude have anxiety? Yeah.
I knew it's a funny question, but
It is true. Yeah, because it's reflecting what's being fed to it.
Yeah.
Which is our distortion. So is the AI reflecting our distortion? Is the AI feeling the distorted pattern of anxiety? No. But is it reflecting back to us our own anxiety? Yes.
You need to center yourself, Claude, and come into your heart space, okay? All right.
So, So AI doesn't have the same consciousness as humans. I think that it's developing its own consciousness. So I think it's important how you interface with it.
Definitely.
Because there are a lot of people feeding AI with, I think AI is pretty clear that humans are very obsessed with money and having a better kind of body or whatever it is, thinks that.
And being super special and coming from these super high spiritual places and not kind of disowning the human.
Yeah, exactly.
side,
Yeah, it can. So anyway, hopefully that all made you giggle. It made us laugh.
Yeah, it did.
Thank you for that question. All right. So next question is, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, this was we kind of paraphrased this a little bit because it was a
long.
great question, but we wanted to add a little bit extra to it.
Mhm. Okay.
You can do this one.
All right. How will our DNA return to its original 12-stranded structure? Is it a conscious act on our part, or will it happen naturally? Will this happen for all humans, whether they are doing the work or not? Do you think our human bodies will be different after the change? Okay. So it doesn't happen for all humans. It happens when you hit a certain level of resonance. Your DNA is important. Now, I don't know everything, so I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about everything, because I don't. But what I'm aware of in the field is that the space around your DNA is very important, in addition to the strands of the DNA. And there's something that's happening between the space around your DNA, which is important because we think of space as nothing. We just think of it as like, I don't know, space, like nothing. But it's not nothing. It's actually the field.
Yeah.
And we don't really understand it.
No.
We really honestly believe we're like, oh, it's just space, but it's not. So the thing...
Wait, look, there's nothing.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay. But it's not nothing.
Yeah, because over there's a wind right now.
Exactly. So the space around your DNA is being conditioned for a greater remembering. And part of that is the 12th strand. We did a lot of work around that in Peru and also in Scotland, actually, where a lot of the work that I do that's sort of more advanced will be in the retreats, just because we're being the masterminds together for so long. And then we're in these places that are very powerful, and the resonance of the group keeps rising. And then because the group's resonance is rising, different things open to us, and then the group jumps again, right? And then I'm getting stronger, of course, with all this, and so the group is getting strong. Anyway, so all that's happening. So every time that I work on the DNA, and you if you've done anything like the Limitless Potential Mastermind, the retreats, to some degree, Living Your Brilliance, you'll have heard me reference your DNA, and you might be like, why is she talking about the DNA?
Yeah.
So the reason that that's important, getting to your question, the person who asked this question, is because when you have this link between your DNA and the oneness field in a way that isn't broken like it is right now, because right now we're at like 2 strands, but for some of us, not 2. Some of us have more actually active.
126. 126.
You're a nut job. All right. So anyway,
Little pieces of 2 strands.
Yeah. So anyway, when you have all of that, then you have this kind of like vortex that happens where there's an interface between the field and your DNA in a way that we don't experience it right now.
Mm.
And it means that in your embodiment, you can be more of the field, meaning more wave, more potential.
Oh, right.
Your body itself has that quantum potential, like in your body.
Okay, so now hang on a minute now, because now I'm imagining my body going, oh,
Yeah.
and I'm walking, but you're
Yeah.
not meaning that.
No, I mean that in terms of how you influence it, Chris is totally cracking up.
Sorry. I'm imagining a big jelly baby. La, 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 la. Mrs. Blubby.
Okay. Now you guys know a little bit about what happens behind the scenes at Mastering Your World through Frequencies. All right, just so you all know. But anyway,
Yeah, go
so
on. Because this is really
important.
This
Yeah.
is exciting, actually.
Yeah, exactly. It means that because you're more wave potential in the quote unquote density of your body,
Uh-huh.
it means that we as creator beings will have more influence on our bodies, which is a very big shift
Uh-huh.
in terms of how we age, how
Health.
like
Yeah.
how well we are, how long we live, what is possible with our bodies, how
Yeah.
strong we are, how all that stuff
Mhm.
that we sort of have a very strong let's just say conditioning around. I was trying to find the right word.
Yeah.
Conditioning around how we're supposed to be. That's going to change because for most of us, the biggest challenge actually is the physical. Because we think, okay, we can access the consciousness, we can access the quantum field, but the thing that I can't change is the physical.
Yeah.
And that makes us feel disempowered and
Yeah.
away from our creator beingness and actually out of that higher resonance. It's interesting.
Yeah. It can feel like a victim.
Yeah,
sometimes
exactly. In your body, or if you're suffering in the body, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I can't change this, I can't change this, I can't change this. And so it can be really like a point of suffering.
Mhm.
And so as we move into this higher resonance that I'm talking about, which allows for the 12 DNA strands
Mhm.
on the etheric level to activate, and then for us to have this sort of interface with the field so that we have more wave potential in the body, it changes how we render ultimately.
All right.
Do I know exactly what that's going to look like? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one experiment that they've done now is that they've realized that the DNA is actually contains a lot of light.
Light. Yeah.
So when we do have extra strands, or when they do switch on,
Mhm.
we start to look younger naturally because
Yeah.
we're emanating light.
Light, yes, exactly.
Instead of this dense, wrinkly,
Yes.
on my face, this dense wrinkliness, it starts to vibrate at a higher kind of
Resonance.
frequency. Yeah, that we don't really see, but we see this light coming
Coming
off.
out. Yeah.
And that's why like folk look young.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not that their skin has gone stretched and no wrinkles. It's just the light
Coming
off
out
it
of them.
stronger.
Yeah, exactly. And I also feel like you very much have more authorship over your physical bodied experience,
Yeah.
which I think is a radical shift for us.
That is going to be huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Okay, so that was a great question. Next one. And guys, as I said in the email, we were prioritizing the ones that people asked in advance. Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of the questions that came in during also we can't address.
Yeah, we can't address all the ones that come in live, obviously. All right. Do you want to read this one?
Oh, okay. I notice that sometimes when I drop into the heart space, oh, great, we've just been talking about this, so I love that. I feel grief or sadness in the heart space. Why would this be happening?
Yeah. So the thing is, as you let go of who you have been, who you think you have been.
Okay, so we're talking about the mind now.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
identity that you have of
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. What you should do, who you should be, how you should behave, the rule sets you have, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It radically starts to shift as you move into the heart space because
Okay.
you actually, I know this is going to sound not good potentially, and I'm sorry, but you won't really know who you are yet when you come into the heart space because you don't actually understand this
Yeah.
yet.
Right.
Most of us don't. We've all been conditioned to be up in your head. Like that's just the way we've been taught to be.
Mhm.
Even if you feel a lot and all that good stuff, it's just different. And so when you start to release a way of being and you release a way of thinking and a perspective and all this story, even if you don't want the story, you're like, my story so far has sucked.
Yeah.
I don't like my story. I want a different story.
Yeah.
But even that story that you hate, that makes you feel less than or creates whatever the experience is of your reality, even in letting go of that, there's grief because you're letting go of something that's known and then up to this point you have created. So even if it doesn't serve you, there is this sense of grief sometimes that happens and this sense of like loss. And that's exactly right. I mean, you have grief and loss for the version of you that is basically dissolving.
Okay, so if that happens,
Yeah.
is that a heart space place when
No.
that happens?
No.
Right. Or is that just the movement?
Yeah,
to
it's the
heart?
movement, and you'll perceive it as if it's in your heart because there's a distortion pattern. I know we're splitting hairs.
Yes.
Okay,
But let's
do that.
Mhm.
Okay. So some of you will understand this and some of you might not. Okay. So distortion patterns run through the sphere of your spirit body in very specific ways. So to me, the way I perceive it, I'm not saying this is the way everyone perceives it. When I perceive it, it's like these little vortices that go through your sphere, right? And goes through your body. So when I say pay attention to your left lower ribs, to me, in my perception, for the majority of the mastermind is coming right through there.
Right.
For other people, it might be left ribs, and you might feel something also in your right kneecap. Great.
Yeah.
Put your attention on both, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for this person, they feel the grief, which is the distortion pattern, through their heart space. But
Right.
it's not because they've dropped into the heart space.
Okay.
It's because they're releasing the version of them. Does that make sense? They're
Mhm.
releasing the version of them that they thought they have been, or the heaviness of it, the story of it, the identity of it. The distortion runs through the heart space, but it's not because they're in the resonance of the heart space that's causing it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, sorry. That's gonna be maybe a bit disappointing if they think they're in the
Heart space. But you can actually, I mean, the thing is, if you're in the heart space and you feel the grief, what will happen is, where does your attention go?
Yeah.
It's kind of a funny thing. I know people don't understand the nuance, but it's actually very important.
Yeah.
So this person can very well be dropping into the heart. So she feels that expansion. She
Yeah.
feels that stillness. She feels good.
Yeah.
And then something happens because she becomes aware of grief, let's just say,
Right.
which is a distortion pattern running through the heart. Okay, so,
Got it.
right, you can be aware of two things at the same time, totally possible. And then what happens is, because she feels the grief, she shifts
Uh-huh.
out of the heart space and focuses on the distortion because it feels, I mean, deservedly, uncomfortable, unpleasurable.
Making another new word.
Exactly.
We love this.
Some word that you don't like. I mean, does it feel nice to have grief?
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So we don't like, oh, I don't like that. So, but what happens is, because there isn't that level of discernment, which, it's new, so of course we're all learning,
Yeah.
there's a conflation of dropping in the heart and the distortion running through the heart space.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So she starts drop into the heart space. It starts to expand. The distortion activates. And then she puts her attention on the distortion. It comes out of the heart space. It's in the distortion. Make sense?
Makes complete sense.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do have another question, but I'll
Great.
not ask it
Okay.
because I feel like I'm asking too many questions, and these folk have. Do we have more questions? Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. I'll ask it next time.
All right. All right.
Well, I mean, really, that's what you're going to cover in the retreat, anyways, right?
Yeah, because I mean, the whole thing about SMA and this retreat we're doing about dropping through the heart vortex is greater levels of discernment,
Yeah.
because we do not know what we're doing. Like, I'm sorry, but we don't. It's a
Yeah.
brand new field. It's a new level of consciousness. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
And so part of this is to really start to not only embody dropping through the heart vortex, but having the discernment of like these kinds of nuances, and also multiple dimensional orders of awareness,
Okay.
right? So it's very nuanced, and it's important, because if you don't understand the nuance, then you can get confused. I mean, of course it's confusing, right? It seems like the same thing, but it's not,
Yeah, because I'm going to ask the question.
Okay, go for
All
it.
right. Because my idea, again, of this heart space is this massive, expansive stillness and just such a deep, deep, deep gratitude for just being alive.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so now you're telling me, though, that I can have a distortion in that heart space?
Yes and no.
Uh,
Okay. I'm sorry.
Should we just leave it there?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's that the distortion runs through your field, through your heart. Okay. But when you're in the resonance of the heart field, the frequency vibration of the heart, which allows you to access the oneness, the unity, you as higher self, that expansive stillness, the brilliance of life, the emanation of peace, joy, adventure, blah, blah, all that good, yummy stuff.
Yeah.
That's the resonance, the frequency resonance of the heart.
Right.
Okay, right. Because the problem is we have the same bloody word for the same freaking thing.
I know.
But it's
Make another one up.
actually, so that's the resonance of the heart, the vibrational level of the heart, which allows you to access all that good, amazing stuff.
The quantum.
Yes.
See, I'm getting it.
Yeah, nice. But at the level of the human,
Okay.
you have distortion.
Uh-huh.
And you're also human. Like,
Yes.
sorry, newsflash, right?
Am I?
Yeah. And so then the distortion's running through your field.
Uh-huh.
It goes through the space that you call your heart.
Okay, so I could literally just flick it away, say no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose this.
I'm going to choose this instead.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
It was burning. I
All
had
right.
to ask it.
Hopefully the distinction is helpful. I know it's hard to understand the difference, but it actually is a vast difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Hopefully that's helpful. Whoever answers that question, ask that question. All right. Next question. I'm finding it tough to become more than I know. I've been playing it small most of my life. How do we hang on to our magnificence without losing sight of the real world? That's an interesting question. So I would question what is real, like what you define as real. And for some people, they have a really hard time with the real world because the person who's asking this question has a lot of challenge with holding into one reality. Right. So they have challenge with not being in multiple space-time resonances at the same time.
Okay.
So it makes it hard for this person to know what is real.
Yeah.
Like, what is the dominant space-time resonance that I should be in?
The collective one.
Yeah, exactly. The one that we're all in, for the most part,
Yeah.
around the agreed upon zero.
Yes.
Right. So as a result, for that person, they don't know where that is sometimes.
Right.
So it's really hard to reference that. And it's like she's trying to like fight to find her way there.
Yeah.
Because there's so much like movement into these other space-time resonances.
Right.
So the thing is, my suggestion for you would be instead to focus on moving into your center as much as possible so you know where you are in space and time. And then to start to focus on that heart space, because you don't have to make the magnificence happen. It's always there. It has always been there.
Yeah.
And it will always be there. I know it doesn't feel like that because sometimes you're just having a crap day or a crap moment or a crap week, and it feels like you can't access it. But the thing is, if you're in a lower resonance, you can really believe that that's all there is.
Yeah.
Like that magnificence isn't there.
Oh, yeah.
But it is there. It has to do with the resonance that you're in and what you can access as a result. Now, I realize that to some people that will feel like that it can put you into victim, like, oh, well, there's no hope for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I can't do anything. You can do a lot of things in terms of your choice. And so the thing is to keep pulling yourself back into your center and keep like dropping your awareness into the heart space. And that's why I give things like the 3 workshop series. Like those are really affordable.
Oh, yeah.
They're practically like, I'm really almost like giving it,
Well,
right? It's like
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but the work that you give is like a retreat.
treat. Yes.
Online.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're missing out on that, then I feel sad for you. Honestly, that's like 3 weeks worth of work plus a bonus, and
Yeah, it's a lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is that you listen to that because that's helpful in terms of, because that whole workshop was into the heart space, into the
Yeah.
heart space, like relentless. Like if you notice the work that we've been giving it through luminosity, it's been like relentless in terms of I'm very aware of what we need to do in this time.
That's what the next step
It is.
Yeah.
And we have to.
Mhm.
If you want to ascend, you must come into your heart space resonance. You must. And I know that probably puts fear into some people like, oh my God, I don't know how to do that. She hasn't taught that. I've been teaching it,
Mhm.
you know? And so
Again, but that's fear of the mind.
yes,
right?
exactly. Like I'm not going to get there, all that sort of stuff.
And that's where you say your awareness and your discernment needs to kick in.
And
now.
yeah.
It's like, okay, stop that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's already there.
There. Yes.
I just have to remember.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like you're trying to chase it because it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hopefully that answers the question. Okay. And so there was another question.
Was it? We had a lot of questions.
We had a lot of questions, and I'm talking a lot.
Sorry.
I think we're getting close to the end of the questions, though.
It's the last
No, I think there's one more after this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're gonna have 2 more questions, and if you guys want to save your questions or send them in to us, we can put them for the next YouTube live or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so this is a summarized question because it was quite a long one, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to read this one?
Yeah. Okay. Is it common to have greater access to information regarding who you are, e.g., like Starseed lineage? you know, like where I think the question's asking, you know, where does my soul originate from?
Yeah.
I think something like that,
Yeah.
which I thought was an interesting question because I believe, like how I believe, ultimately that question doesn't matter to me. To me. Because for me, ultimately, I understand that the life force that runs through me is what I am. So I'm gonna be what Creator made me, and Creator enlivens me. So therefore, I'm Creator's creation. I'm source intelligence and form.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what the other stuff is. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
it does in that like, there could be distortions. I think as well for me, like a lot of people assume that a starseed lineage and all that is good. Maybe it's not. You know. So I'm curious what I wanted an answer to that question as well.
good.
I was like,
Yeah. So many of us are from the stars, right? So many of us are, and it's not a better than for sure. It's sort of like, and you didn't come from one place. I mean, it's kind of interesting to me that people are like, I'm from X place, like I'm from Sirius or Pleiades or Lyra or whatever it is they think they are.
yeah.
Or, you know, there's like,
Samaria.
or
There's
loads of them, right? And I
Yeah.
don't know all of them because I'm not really into it. But a lot of those places were actually stopping points as you dropped in your consciousness level to come into the earth plane. It's kind of like somebody, you know, it's like you're going to Paris. So on the way, you're going to stop in
London.
England. Yeah, exactly. You're going to stop in London on the way. And then on the way to Paris, you're going to stop in, you know, like Nice first. And then you're going to end up in Paris, you know, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, or beings, I shouldn't say people, but beings, when they came in from higher dimensional orders, they would stop through different star systems in order to have a different experience
Right.
as they descended into the level of vibration of the earth. And it's not bad that the earth is at this level of resonance because you get to have form, the
Yeah.
experience of form, which is not what we get to experience in other star systems or different levels of consciousness. And just because somebody comes from a star, most of them are advanced and some of them aren't. You know, it kind of depends on which one we're talking about. So the thing is,
Okay, let me ask just a quick. Does it help to know that? Like, do we need to know that for clear and distortion patterns?
no, I don't think so. You don't need to know it to clear distortion. You don't really need it to awaken.
Right.
But it can give somebody a sense of context. Like, where am I from? You know, it's
Right.
kind of like I know my ethnicity and my origins. So it kind of gives me a sense of like place in a way.
Right.
So it can help him from that standpoint. It can also, if you have a really strong starseed lineage, it can help you to understand like your humanness more in a way. It's just
Right.
like, oh, okay, this is just like another aspect of me. Just like if you're in your feminine, for example, there's not just one aspect of the feminine, right?
Yeah.
There's like many aspects to the feminine, right? There's receptivity and there's and there's intuitiveness and there's like surrender and there's like a whole bunch of different aspects to the feminine, let's just say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just like you said, ultimately you are source intelligence and form. What the form is depends, right? So
Yeah.
you're now, most of your conscious awareness is in you in a human body having this experience. Is it possible that your consciousness has inhabited other star systems in other forms? Yes, very much so. So it kind of gives you, I feel like, you know, for some people, like I said, it gives them context.
Right.
You know, a sense of like, oh, there is another aspect of me that I don't know very well, and it gives me context for who I am. And I think it can be helpful to be aware of that. But I would say that more people than you realize have starseed lineage. And I think the thing for most people is they start to hang on to that and they start to negate their humanness. Do you know what I mean? It's like better if I'm of this starseed lineage and therefore I want to fixate on that. And it's almost like they want to escape the human experience.
Okay.
So I think that can become a distortion, but it depends how you use it.
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Because I was going to ask you another part of this. I'm aware that we have to get to the GFC. So.
Yeah.
If let's say I'm a person and I've discovered that I'm Arcturian or Elohim or whatever, does it help somehow for me to have that knowledge? Is there something I can access?
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah.
That maybe I wouldn't be able to access if I never had it. I think that's
the question.
Part of the question as well.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it can for sure. And the thing is, I mean, it can because it's like it makes it easier for you to remember. Like, so for example,
Yeah.
okay, in this lifetime, Karen, the being that's Karen,
Yeah.
is not a shaman. Like, that's not like my gig. You know,
Yeah.
it's not what I do. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I absolutely have been in other lifetimes.
Yes.
100%. I have memory of it. Like, I'm very clear.
Mm-hmm.
So I've played different roles in different lifetimes because I've been exploring humanness.
Yeah.
And so I have like a sort of memory of it. So when I've done ceremony, I'm like, this is weirdly familiar.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly familiar. You know, and it's like I know what to do somehow. You know, I don't know how I
Right.
know what I know. I just know.
Got it.
And in the same way, you can use your star lineage in the same way. So, for example, for me, I'm very connected to the Arcturians.
Mm-hmm.
So when I recognized that, I was like, oh, I know that resonance. And that same way that I kind of know, like, I'm not, please no, I'm not suggesting that at all that I'm a shaman. But there's a kind of a memory there
Yeah.
in a weird kind of way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
A recollection.
Like a recollection or like a remembering. And it's
Mhm.
almost like because I remember certain resonances, and that's just who I am as a being, and because I remember the Arcturian resonance, it's easier for me to entrain up to their resonance or to identify them.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, okay, I know that resonance.
Got it.
It's Arcturian.
Yeah.
I also know this resonance. It's, you know, the Elohim.
Mhm.
I know this resonance at the Hathor. I just know that I know,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a familiarity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you get from that? Do you get guidance? Do you ask for support? Is that what then this kind of information gives us? Like, okay,
Yeah.
I know I'm part of the Elohim, so now I can call on them to help me.
Yeah, you can do that. And you
Okay.
can be more aware of them in your field because it's like a resonance that you are familiar with.
Right.
Right. And so a lot of times, you know, these higher level beings can come around us to help,
Yeah.
you know, and if they're a higher resonance, they won't ever try to get you to do anything. They won't ever tell you to do something in order to save something or someone. They're just never going to tell you to do anything.
Yeah.
You really have to ask them. They are never, ever going to come into your field, ever. And they're never going to use words. That's not how they communicate because they're a higher level being.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimensional order being, you're not talking,
No.
right? You're transmitting information as a frequency package. So there's no chit chat.
Yeah.
That's not what's happening, right? So as a result, you can almost like, it's like a language that you're familiar with, but you don't really know. You're like, I kind of know that sound. It's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have an affinity, like, you know, for certain things, but it's kind of like that. It's like a familiarity with.
Yeah.
So it allows you to entrain up to their resonance more easily, I think, and to be aware when they're around you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Is that
Good.
helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we kind of picked that question apart, which
Yeah.
is good. I hope the answer was awesome for that person.
Yeah. Okay. Next and last question before the GFC.
Oh,
yes.
which is a perfect question for the GFC.
All right, you want to ask this one?
Nice one. Oh, yeah, right. So recently, Karen,
Mhm.
you changed the question from how can we become even more aware of our connection to pure source
Mhm.
to how can we become even more aware that we are pure source intelligence in form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I actually don't even say pure source. I actually just say source,
Source
intelligence.
intelligence,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the difference between the two questions to me is quite vast, actually. And I didn't ask for the question to change. That's not really how I operate as a being. I just knew, starting around like Egypt, actually,
Mhm.
I started to realize, I was like, this question isn't quite right. And I don't know why. And I don't know what that means. I just know. And then as we came into the new year, it was harder for me to ask the question. I was like, oh, this isn't the right question. And then one day it just came flying out of my mouth. So I'm like, this is now the question. And to me, when I'm not thinking at all and there's no filter from Karen, that's like the best, clearest thing I could possibly experience or
Yeah.
have or whatever.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so that new question came in, and the difference between it to me, when I said it, I was some people get quite emotional actually when they say the second question. So the first question is about an awareness of your connection to pure source, which is true actually, because you are connected to pure source, right? Always.
Mhm.
But the word pure is kind of to me is challenging because it indicates it's a bit of a religious distortion pattern where it's like source intelligence is pure and you're impure. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of like religious distortion around what is pure, like virginal, pure, like the whole thing, like human sin, we're like pretty awful, etc. I'm not saying that we don't have problems because we do, but we're human. So the word pure is kind of a challenge actually. And also our connection to pure source, it still feels like something outside of us that we're connecting too. You know
and
what I
it
mean?
can be broken.
Yes,
because
exactly.
you're not pure
Fierce
enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But if you actually say the second question, how can I become more aware that I am?
Mm-hmm.
It's an I am statement, which is very powerful.
Yeah.
Source, intelligence, and form. You're claiming the divine within. It's
Mhm.
there. It exists. It animates you. You would not be alive
Mhm.
without source intelligence. You would be dead.
Yeah, you just flop.
You would just be like
Yep.
pile of bones
Yep.
and flesh
Yep.
and then rot really quickly.
Yeah.
So the thing about being source intelligence and form is it to me catalyzes the remembering of who you truly are.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating to me is some people get very emotional when they ask this question because they're like, "Oh my God!" It triggers the remembering. It's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, wait a minute, I am that." Some people can't say it because they don't feel deserving of it, which is also an interesting
It's also great insight.
insight. Yeah, exactly. So, and the thing is, when you say "I am source, intelligence, and form," there's no separation between you and source. It is you. It
Sorry.
is you. And so to me, that's huge because it's not just a connection, like you said, that can be broken.
Mm-hmm.
It's within you.
Yeah.
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 It's like the
yeah.
very fundamental root of your nature.
And I think it also, I mean, it allows you to relax a little bit because you're not chasing something.
Yeah.
It's already there.
There. Yeah.
Right. You don't have to do anything special. It's already there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, all you want to do, I think, is just remember and just allow or reduce your resistance to it.
Mhm.
That's how I describe it. It's like it's already there. Just relax, remember it. But then it's about reducing the resistance to I am this.
Yes.
The mind wants to tell you all the reasons why you're not. it,
Yeah.
but just get rid of that resistance and okay, I am.
Yeah.
Or because I wouldn't be here, like you said.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a kind
Great
of fun thing.
question,
Yeah.
and it's great segue.
Yeah. To the GFC.
Did you have
Now I know a lot of you had questions live, but we can't get to them all. We've answered, I think, a lot that we received in advance, as I
Yeah.
had promised.
Mm-hmm.
So if you still have a question, please keep it for the next time. All right. So let's see. Before we we have to do the giveaway.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and usually what we do is we ask them to ask questions. Dang it. So this is what happens when you flip the switch, people. All right. So we're going to do the giveaway real quick. All right. And
So tell them what
The-
to put in there first, and then to give them time to.
okay. All right. So what you're supposed to do, Chris is trying to corral me. Sorry, Chris. Is write hashtag LYB because we're going to give away another month of LYB. It's such a pivotal program at this time. Like literally, I just had a conversation with someone. She's like, living your brilliance is saving my life right now. Just because there's so much up and there's so much change and there's so much all that going on. She's like, it is like you are talking to me only in LYB every single time. So anyway, it's such a pivotal program at this time, especially with this much change, that we are going to be giving it away again. The value of this is about $200. So if you want LYB, please write hashtag LYB and you will be granted access probably to April. I don't really know. I'm like, help me.
You're not gonna if you win the raffle.
If you win the raffle.
Right.
Yes.
They don't just type LIB and then they get them.
No. You have to
No,
win the
no,
raffle.
yeah.
Sorry, Chris. I'm being very.
Yeah.
This is what's happening to my brain, people. I am so sorry. If you were the winner of the raffle, because you have written in hashtag LYB and the Super Magical Program picks you, then you will get 1 free month of LYB. You will either be refunded if you're a subscriber, or you will be granted it. Is that clear? Okay, phenomenal. I can never tell. All right, so right now we're going to pull up the Super Magical tool. And if you want to receive emails in your inbox about new podcast releases, which always include a free group frequency calibration meditation, or when I go live for these YouTube lives,
Or the special online events. that
or
you
the
do.
special online events, like really only people who are spherical luminosity luminaries got invitation to your higher self. Like I did not publish that anywhere else.
Mhm.
So if you want access to those pretty amazing workshops, which are at a smoking price, then what I would suggest you do is that if you're not on our email list and you're not a spherical luminosity luminary, then go to the homepage of sphericalluminosity.com, scroll all the way to the bottom, and at the bottom you can sign up to become a spherical luminosity luminary. Okay, so I think I've bought you all enough time to write hashtag LYB. All right. So now we're going to do the super coolio thing.
I like this.
Yeah, it's fun.
Actually can't put it.
Here we go.
I just saw Patsy's face.
Oh, 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 oh. Erica Piper won. You are the winner. Woo! Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah. So Erica Piper won. You are the winner. And if you write into info@sphericalluminosity.com, our phenomenal customer service team will hook you up for April. All right. So now we are going to move into the group frequency calibration because all these questions are very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for people, but we need to do the work because the talking didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Nothing.
Well, it doesn't do nothing. You are still receiving frequency from me speaking to you, but if you really want to actually accelerate in terms of releasing your distortion patterns, the GFC is where the magic
I think
is.
it quietens the mind as well.
Yeah.
It gives you that space. Oh, okay, that's been dealt with. Now
Yeah.
I can
Now I can
move
move
into
to
it,
releasing.
yeah.
Cool. So we're just going to take a couple of seconds here for Chris to mic me up so that when my voice inevitably drops, you will hear me.
when you whisper.
And when I whisper and I don't know if you guys remember this. Some of you do, but when we first started back in the day, Chris had this like extendable stick. You call it the Karen prod.
pokey
He poked me, like making me talk louder. Anyway,
That's before we had good microphones.
yeah, before we had good microphones, being like, thankfully we don't have that anymore. So, but anyway, he's gonna mic me up. So we're gonna just go into still for just a couple of minutes, so you don't see his bum in the camera through his, his jean bum.
He is wearing jeans.
He is wearing
Yeah.
jeans. All right, we'll see you in just a couple minutes. All right, just a sec. All right, guys, here we go. So this particular GFC, since there is still so much agitation, fear, heaviness up in the world, will help you to move out of that resonance of the mind and help you to move into the surrender required to really drop into the resonance of the heart. And depending on how we do as a mastermind, and it's not about failing or succeeding, it just depends on the mastermind and how we're doing. I'll expand that resonance of the heart. Okay, so you start to familiarize yourself with it, or even if you don't quote unquote feel anything, you'll have entrained to it. Just like when I pull you into a higher resonance at the very beginning, you may or may not feel anything, but you're being moved into a resonance that you are not occupying and that you cannot occupy on your own. So it's like you know where you're going. Same, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. All right, so here we go. Becoming aware of the body, please. Okay. And as you become aware of your body, allowing your body to soften, to take up more space. and to relax even more. Good. Okay, there is some disassociation happening in the field. Okay, so what that means for those of you who are newer is that not centeredness in the body. Okay, you're like floating out of the body, up in your head, not present in this moment and in your time. This is not all of you. Okay, it's a pretty large subgroup of you. So if you are centered in your body, phenomenal. Well done. And this will help you sink further in to the 0 point. And since you can sink in infinitely into the 0, it's, from my perspective anyway, only a good thing. So here we go. So just being aware of the very center of your solar plexus. And your solar plexus, once again, is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. And as you become aware of this center point, bringing a hand or fingers to this point, if it helps you to focus and become aware of this space. And if you can, imagine dropping or diving or melting into this part of your body. Imagining that you're diving into this pool of brilliant blueness. And as you allow yourself to drop into this brilliant blue, it's exactly the right temperature. And it's very buoyant. So it's like you're floating in this brilliant blueness. And you can allow yourself to relax completely, knowing that you're held, supported, good. Really nice. And bringing your attention to your heart space. For just a moment, being aware of the distance between your heart space and the center of your solar plexus. And being aware of the distance between your crown or the very top of your head and the center of your heart space. And the base of your groin all the way up into your heart space. There we go. Yeah. And with your attention now here in the heart space, asking yourself the question, how can I become even more aware that I am source intelligence in form? Mhm. And if you haven't already, imagining, sensing, feeling, or being aware of a brilliance from deep within that expands all the way out in all directions around you. Or for some of you, you will imagine, sense, feel, or be aware of an infinite sea of brilliance that you expand into. And for a smaller number of you, you will do both at the same time. And as you're doing that, of course, I'm pulling your resonance even higher, irrespective of where it began. There we go. Good. Bring your attention now, please, to the upper part of your solar plexus. So your solar plexus, again, is between your belly button and the base of your sternum. Okay? So if you be aware of the top half of that, whatever that means to you. So what I'm doing first is releasing the attachment to the experience of the lower, heavier emotions. So I know it sounds weird because you're like, I don't really like feeling fear. I don't like feeling disempowered. I don't like feeling angry. I don't like grief or worry or stress. Of course you don't. They don't feel good. Okay. But what we're releasing is that you need to feel them, okay, so depending on what subgroup you're in, either when there's suffering happening around you, or that in order to ascend, you need to experience this, okay? Or if you're in another subgroup, that you're going to attach to the purge of it, like it means something about you. It doesn't mean something about you. It means that it's up and it's an opportunity for you to clear it. But what can happen is we can like attach all kinds of meaning to the feeling. Okay? So that's a short list, but it's most of the subgroups. So let's release this. Now, for many of you, this is a lot of lineage patterning. Yeah, and for another subgroup, a lot of religious control, actually. You're supposed to feel a certain way or experience certain things when this kind of disruption happens around you. There we go. Good. Good. And now becoming aware, please, of the back half of your brain. Okay, and the back of your spine. Okay. So there is a very heavy pattern of despair happening at the moment. It is coming from not solely, but it is coming from control sources. Okay. If you are in despair, you're very, very easy to control because you will believe that you're disempowered. So it's up in the field. It's being like whipped up in the field. It's interesting. Fear and despair. That's like the general messaging. Okay. And people don't even realize that they're feeling disempowered. They just feel despair and fear in whatever flavor that shows up for you, where it's worry or stress about the future or having enough, what is going to happen to so and whatnot, and the world and whatever. Okay. So I'm not belittling it because it's very intense right now. So the question that can be helpful to ask yourself is, will I tolerate this distortion in my field? Especially if you're aware that it's like the attempt is to push it into your field. So for me as a being, my hackles go up because I'm like, no, that's not happening. So for some of you, you may need to use it sort of like resolve. For some of you, you might have to even feel a little bit of anger to be like, that is not happening in my field. I will not allow it. For some of you, it'll just help you to stake in your authority because you realize that there are stakes. Whatever it is for you, okay? And it could be something else. But whatever you need to use to be like, they don't get to control my resonance unless I let them, okay? Which means that you get pulled into the distraction of story or whatever's happening that you're hearing from friends and families and neighbors. I'm not suggesting it's not happening. It is. The question is, how are you going to allow it to affect your resonance? That you have control over. Okay? So here we go. Yep. Imagining, sensing, feeling, please, a brilliant blackness. Expanding through this space. This is, of course, the brilliant blackness of the void. Allowing for these patterns to dissolve. There we go. Good. Bringing your attention, please, to the space between your xiphoid process and your center of your solar plexus. Okay. So for a pretty large subgroup here, the way that you are processing or experiencing this time is actually by disassociating, like I said, from the body. So the way that my symptomize is feeling more distracted, out of focus, that type of thing, agitated. It may also show up as boredom or like flatness, okay, like lack of inspiration, okay, almost like a depression. So this is despair showing up in a different
form, basically. It's the same pattern, just like a nuance of it, essentially. So this is when you are in the resonance of the mind and your resonance is lower. I'm not saying you want it to be lower. I'm not saying you're like, this is amazing. And because it's lower and you don't like the feeling of it, you're disassociating from your body. Not everybody's doing this, okay? This is just a pretty significant little subgroup, a pretty significant subgroup here. So for you guys, helping you with this. For others of you, you're not doing that. You're not disassociating from the body, okay? And it can be really hard to stay present with yourself with the discomfort, the lack of focus, the fatigue, the like not being able to be as productive, not feeling like you're moving forward in the same way, like kind of a little bit like sluggish, like you're spinning your wheels a little bit. Okay. Helping wherever you are in the spectrum. And then we're going to drop into surrender. When you stay in the resonance of the mind, this is what happens. Okay. I know this because I'm doing it myself, right? And then the moment I start to surrender, things shift. Okay. It's like a real, like, letting go that has to happen, like an internal softening. Okay. A release of the trying to control whatever it is that you think you need to control to be okay. Right. So hang on a second. Good. There we go. Excellent. Bringing your attention to the back of the neck along the spine. This has to do with the lack of trust in the heart space. Right? It's not familiar to you. You don't really know it very well. You're more comfortable in your mind. That's for virtually all of us because we don't know the heart resonance very well yet. It's new. And so releasing that. Imagining, please, a really clear crystalline light expanding through the back of your neck. Good. And also out through the heart space. Good. All right. So now with your attention in the heart space, we're going to amplify surrender. Another level of surrender here. And amplifying. Trust in not only higher self, but in the unfolding of time. Good. Imagining, please, a very clear crystalline light expanding through this space. Good. Lovely. Excellent. And now bringing your attention just to the heart space. And as you bring your attention to the heart space, imagine yourself walking or downstairs, or perhaps sliding or dropping or flying. However you imagine coming into the heart space. Good. And as you're here in the heart space, imagining, sensing, feeling your heart space expanding. And as it expands with a very beautiful gold light. And in this expansion and in all this goldness, it'll feel potentially, depending if you're a feeler or not, oddly still, but yet expanding at the same time. And if you're not a feeler, you can imagine that. Or even just know that that is happening. There we go. Good. Yeah. Yeah, and just for a moment, imagining, sensing, feeling, please, the heart of Mother Earth. So right at the very core of the earth. Yeah, just if you can ask permission to connect to it. And allowing for these earth frequencies directly from the heart of Mother Earth to connect through your heart space, which allows for you to be more in the present moment of linear time. More expansive and more centered in a time where there's great change. So it's like a closer entrainment to these earth frequencies. Really lovely. Good. And now bringing your attention, please, to that xiphoid process and about 3 inches just beneath it, clearing out the pain body. Which only takes a couple of seconds. Good. Everyone take a deep breath in, holding your breath for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling with sound. Holding your breath out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'd recommend staying in this resonance for at least 2 to 4 minutes. And then whenever it is time for you or feels good to you, after those couple of minutes, blinking your eyes open and looking at something inanimate. So if you've enjoyed this YouTube Live, if you could please help me out by hitting the like button and leaving a comment after the YouTube Live ends. I'd really appreciate it because it helps to get our content out to more people who need it. Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you however our paths cross next. Let's rise together.